This is One-on-One with Jasper Cole, Hollywood's bad guy, and so much more. Actor, talent manager, producer, and more. Now he's sitting down with today's top newsmakers from entertainment, politics, pop culture, and beyond. This is One-on-One with Jasper Cole.
All right. Howdy, and welcome to One-on-One with Jasper Cole. This is your host, Mr. Jasper Cole, coming to you at Sunset Gower Studios. I almost said live. Well, we are live. Sunset Gower Studios right here in Hollywood, California. Mm-hmm. And this is our Thanksgiving show because it's the... Wow. Yeah. You know, that's called a microphone, Dara. I know it's black. Wow. It's a big black thing you haven't had in front of your face in a long time. But anyway.
A very long time. Actually, never.
Never did the black?
No.
So once you go black, you haven't had that yet?
No.
Okay. Well, that voice you're hearing, of course, is because it is the last show of the month. As you know, the last Wednesday of every month, we bring in my Hot Topics co-host, Dara Zane Scully.
Hello, Planet Eartha. Ready for some Thanksgiving shallowness?
Yeah, well, we're in the shallow room today.
We're totally in the shallow room.
And speaking of black and shallow,
he's not
the other
shallow.
co-host is Cecily Tyson. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Ralph Cole Jr.
She alive?
Hello, Planet Eartha. Welcome back for another end of the month festivities with us.
You know, Ralph, we're back to our once a month. I see you once a month.
I know.
You occasionally send checks.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's the perfect relationship. I never see you.
I love that.
It's like a divorce, but with
amicable,
alimony.
Oh, it's like an amicable marriage. Yeah, right.
With money. Yeah.
Yes. Well, listen, everyone, please follow us on Twitter, One-on-One J Cole, Facebook, One-on-One with Jasper Cole, or you can go to my website, Jasper Cole. There's a lot of Jasper
You're
Cole going on.
sounding very sexy. Tell them why you sound so sexy.
Well, I woke up with a little frog in my throat.
Oh.
I didn't get his name.
Ribbit.
Hey, Dennis. Anyway,
okay.
you can go to my
web.
Okay.
Woo.
Jasper
Shout
Cole.
out to Mr. Tyrone.
Hey.
Right, Mr. Tyrone in Palm Springs.
Tyrone Artworks.
Feeling young with all the 90-years. Okay. But anyway.
That's the way to do it.
When you go to jaspercole.com, you can also go to the show page, ubnradio.com. Click on one of our 25 advertisers. We have 25
Please
FM
buy things.
sponsors
We're going to
now.
have Black Friday.
It's very racial in here today, right?
Well,
Black Friday?
Black Friday.
Yeah, so we have 25. We have a new one, efile.com, but then we have 24 other ones.
What do they do?
efile. You have to go on our website, Dara.
Okay.
And if you go on the website and you like something, you click on it, and we all get credit.
Oh, good.
But we have 24 other sponsors, don't we? Oh, shout out to Mr. JW. Sorry.
Yes,
Hello,
JW.
hello.
See, I'm all indifferent in the shallow room. I'm all thrown off here.
It's okay.
So let's hear our other sponsors, JW.
You got it.
All of us here at One-on-One with Jasper Cole are proud to announce our 24 affiliate advertisers, and they are all .coms. Interserver, ZipRecruiter, Hilton Hotels, 3-Day Blinds, Adam and Eve Toys, Bullguard, Prime Slots, Russell Stover, Booking.com, Suzanne Summers Bath and Beauty, Quest Nutrition, Sur La Table, and Extended Stay America.
Additionally, we have EUK Host, Canvas World, Cheap Air, 21st Century, Liberty Mutual, Course Smart, Advanced Auto, Fandango, Meet Mindful, Flair Play, and Jewelry.com. Thanks again to all of our wonderful sponsors.
All right. Yes,
All right.
indeed. Thank you. And
Shop away.
Shop away for Black Friday.
Because it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Well,
I can't sing.
Speaking of most wonderful,
sounded good.
we have a very special guest with us today.
Yes, more female.
This is why I'm calling it deep and shallow, because the guest is making it deep,
Yes.
and you bitches are keeping it shallow.
And the guest is going to talk about bitches.
Oh, that's right. Well, I have wanted to have her on the show for a long time. We have been friends over 20 years. Ironically, Dara and I met at Ogilvy and Mather Advertising.
Yes.
And our very special guest, she knows, I think she's one of the greatest actresses ever. She knows I'm her biggest fan. If there's a 1-hour drama, she's been on it. She's been on every 1-hour show, I think, on television. Many movies. She's one of the biggest animal rescuers and animal activists, and she's now an award-winning author. Please welcome Sylva Kelegian.
Yes.
Hey, Sylva.
Welcome, Sylva.
Welcome, Sylva.
Welcome.
Very nice to be here, especially with all
Wow, you like the audience,
They're-
right?
They're
Hoopla,
so
I know,
happy
it's
to
cool.
see you.
That's great.
Can
Bring
you-
'em on.
It's such a small world. We were talking earlier how I just thought about that coming here, that
Yes.
we actually all met. Sylva was a temp,
That's
as I
amazing.
was in 1991.
1991, yeah.
91?
Yeah. We sat at the front desk.
We
and
didn't do a
ogled me
damn
and
thing.
made-
Did a
gossiped and
Yeah.
We were
Oh, yeah.
dreamed. and-
dreamed.
yeah.
We really.
And the
Yeah.
dreams have
And the dreams have
manifested.
manifested, yep,
So
they
is it
have.
Mather? Is that how
Ogilvy
it's
and
pronounced?
Ogilvy and Mather.
Mather.
Yes.
Right.
Are they still in business?
Yes.
They still are. Wow.
yes.
I think so.
Are they
Yeah.
still on Wilshire, do you think?
No, well, they moved. I was still with them when we moved out to West LA to a Wilshire and Bundy.
Oh.
And then I don't know where they went, but it's exciting because Sylva and I really started out. I mean, I had just been here a few years, and you had come in from New York,
Yep.
and
With LaRue.
LaRue Stanley.
I remember LaRue.
You remember
red-haired LaRue,
too?
She
actress.
set me up with
Yeah.
Michael Lay.
Oh,
Do
who
you
had a
remember
big
Michael Lay?
I do remember that
Okay.
name.
he had a
Never
big
mind.
penis apparently.
Yes.
Allegedly, I don't know.
Hence the name.
That's
right.
right.
Yeah, he
Lay
was
down,
quite the player.
Lay down with
Ah.
Michael. Although you didn't have sex with him.
Anyways.
Okay, Sylva. Anyway, back. We digress.
We'll talk.
Yeah. But it's been a real treat and a joy to watch your career flourish over these years, and we really did start together. And Sylva was in LA for a while, and then you actually went to New York, and New York is where we stayed in touch the whole time, but
Yeah.
New York is where you sort of really laid the foundation for your acting career. You joined the
Yeah.
Actor Studio, and
Well, I had been a member of the Actors Studio before I came out.
Oh, you'd already-
I came out to audition for Patty Duke's show to
Right.
play Patty Duke.
because you looked
Yes.
like her
Everybody
then.
said I should play her. Now I didn't even have an agent. I just got on a plane and came out.
I
here
love it.
because I knew that they were casting for this role. And by the time I got out here, Patty Duke had decided she was going to play herself.
Because she's bipolar.
So,
God bless her.
so she played herself, and I stayed I think for 5 years, and just it was the worst 5 years of my life. It was struggle. struggle, and-
it's going through all the 20 stuff.
really
and-
brutal. It
Yeah,
was
but
brutal.
Ralph, I have to tell you something. Sylva's one of these. Now, let me tell you about someone who, when she, no is not a word for her, and there would be, we could talk for hours about
Yeah.
all the times people would say you can't get in for something, and she'd be like, F you, really watch. And she'd write letters, and because this was in the days of not having computer. Well, I don't think we had emails.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
She would, go find the person, go find the director, go find the producer, and just make it happen.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Or not. A lot of times it didn't happen, but yes, I still kind of do that.
Well, you
I'll
have
tell
to.
you a story later.
You
yeah.
have to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
No, I like that tenacity.
Yeah.
So you would like locate a director, for example, and either write him a handwritten letter or try to find his office.
Or stalk him down.
Right, or I'd find out of a production that was going on that I found out that I was right for, and I didn't have an agent back then, so I had nobody to get me in, and so I'd just go around and get in other ways if I could.
Did it work most of the time?
Sometimes it did. Sometimes it didn't, but sometimes it did. You know,
And we were. That's when we had the breakdowns. Remember, we were part of.
Right.
Remember, when everyone had the group breakdowns, and people would. Yeah, that's.
And we got them on faxes back in the day.
That's
It was on
right, we
paper.
did,
And,
yes,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
I did the same
We
thing
are
you
aging
did.
ourselves.
I wrote Jeff Greenberg, who's a major casting director,
Yes.
a handwritten letter because he had done an interview in Dramalog.
Trauma log.
Talking about,
Dramalog.
remember
Like
Dramalog?
it's like backstage.
Like backstage,
Yeah.
yeah. It was the more elite backstage because it came
Uh-huh.
on glossier paper, I think. And backstage was like newspaper.
Yes, yeah.
And in Dramalog, Jeff Greenberg said he really liked New York stage actors as opposed to an actor with no stage experience. And you like me like you, felt I'm the kind of actor he should know. And I hand wrote him a letter, mailed it to him at Paramount, and he actually got it, and I got called in from
Fantastic.
that letter. So
I think
it's-
handwritten is still the way to go, personally.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Yeah.
it's so nice when it really
I mean, when do you
happens
ever
that
get
way.
a nice handwritten anything?
I know, and that would have been in 1998 or 97
that's
or
the year I got
98.
married.
So
Yeah.
we weren't using all that electrical gizmo stuff.
Right.
You know.
Then, yeah.
I think
Right.
it was better
Yeah.
then, personally.
Well,
I do too.
So when you went back to New York,
So I went back to New York because I was cleaning houses here and living on people's couches. It was just a really hard time. And I went back to New York, and this is a sweet story. It's in my book. I'll just tell it quickly. I prayed for an answer of whether I should go back to New York or not. And the next day I found a piece of paper. This was in May or April, I believe. And I found a piece of paper near my car near the gym that had my birthday, February 22nd, on it, and it said, and it was the Arts and Leisure's New York Times.
Wow.
And I picked it up and I went, that's my answer.
That's
and
your
I
answer.
booked it, and I went back to New York, and everything took off from there. I met the love
Everything.
of my life.
Jude, her husband, her wonderful husband, who's an
Yeah.
amazing character actor as well.
Yeah, career took off, everything.
But what also happened
Yeah.
was you found this amazing dog. Let's first of all say
Yes.
Sylva's got 2 books. We mentioned she's an author. God Spelled Backwards: The Journey of an Actress into the World of Dog Rescue, which is an amazing book, and you've won awards for this. You've been nominated for awards. But this is also the story of when you first met Sammy.
Right, but the book
I mean,
starts.
starts when
yeah, the book begins and ends with her, basically.
Right, and I remember Sammy.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah,
Oh.
she was.
Runyon Canyon after you came back.
That's right, and you had your corgis.
Yes.
And we'd all go
Oh
hiking.
my God.
Yeah.
So tell this.
Yeah.
Okay, so what
So
happened?
I went back to New York, and between acting jobs, I felt like I needed to give back to the world. I was going through that point in my life, and so I started mentoring a young girl, and was working with her. And then I met a dog while I was doing a play, and they said, "Oh, she came from this place, and you should go and walk dogs. They need help walking dogs." Because I said I'd love to help, and so I went, and she was the first dog that I walked, and she ended up never leaving my side after that for 10 years. And then we moved out here, and I heard that there was a big problem with animal rescue, with animals out here. Many, many millions of animals in need out here, kind of like a third world country, which I found out pretty quickly was true. And I started to volunteer out here, and that's how I got deep into animal
Right.
rescue. Deep.
It became a real passion of yours.
Yeah, I've rescued over 500 dogs, probably 20 to 30 cats, a few horses. And I've written a 1-hour drama with Allison Eastwood and Steve Spiro, who are my writing partners, and we're pitching that right now.
That's
Never been
great.
done before, a 1-hour drama for TV, so we're trying to get that on the air.
Yeah.
So between the book and the show, we're trying to raise awareness. at
What
this
is?
point.
Why so many animals? Do people just not?
Not,
neuter their
not
animals?
spayed and
They don't
neutering.
stay in I
mean-
mean, there's a lot of different cultures living in Los Angeles, and a lot of people don't believe in spay and neutering, and they allow their dogs to run the streets and get other dogs pregnant, and it's a nightmare.
I mean, Sylva has literally crawled under houses and buildings in South Central, and I mean, just
Yeah, East LA. and
talking about talking the talk
Sun
and walking
Valley,
the walk.
and yeah, all over the place. I
Yeah.
mean, it's everywhere. The problem is everywhere. It's not.
I mean, you've
is
had to
it-
get dogs out of people's yard before, just literally get the dogs. So, remember, there's dogs that were like wrapped on chains.
Oh,
and
sure, yeah. And I've done some stuff that is not in the book because if it was in the book, I might not
Be
be
arrested?
sitting here right now. But yeah, I've put my life on the line a couple times.
Yeah.
Because I got to know my dog Sammy, who became the love of my life,
Oh.
the female love of my life. And I thought every dog all of a sudden became her. And I thought, how would I feel if Sammy was in this situation? And so that's why I really got deep into rescue.
And God spelled backwards is dog, and I believe that dogs, cats, I think they're angels that are actually sent. If you believe, I don't know what sent from the universe, because they're the only things that are unconditional.
Yeah, they're
we're not
sentient.
I mean, we're here to try to be unconditional, but the honest to God truth is, find one animal that's not truly totally unconditional.
Very
They
true.
love you no matter what.
No matter what. And
You
they're
know.
just, as I said in the book, we're killing love. That's
Yes.
what we're doing. We kill 5 to 6 million animals in this country every year. And that's just here alone.
Right.
It's staggering.
When you get into places like Mexico and I remember
that's a
when your
nightmare.
mom lived in Mexico, right at the border, you would go visit, and remember how traumatic, because
Very.
you would see all these dogs.
It was horrible. And I brought a bunch back at one time.
Yeah.
But I just won't go to Mexico anymore.
No.
I can't. It's not a vacation for me.
How were you notified? For example, in East LA, how were you notified that?
For instance, the South Central, my dentist assistant said to me, "I know you're an actress, but I heard that you're a dog rescuer." And I had just come back from a big job, and I was trying to take a break from dog rescue. And I'm like, "Oh, no, what?" She said, "Well, there's this dog on my street that was hit by a car, and she's sitting there over her mother. The puppy's mother is sitting over the puppy, just won't leave the puppy, and no one is helping the dog." And I said, "Well, I'll go out there." And I went out there. And by the time I got there, animal control had gotten out there and taken the puppy, and the mother had disappeared. But evidently there were 2 other puppies behind this house that was next door. And just because of that incident, I ended up in that area for 3 months. I got 21 dogs off the street in
Wow.
that area.
Amazing.
Wow.
So it's people calling me and
And
telling
you
me.
foster dogs. You've had dogs at your house. And how
Yeah.
many dogs do you have now?
I don't foster.
Oh, you
No, I
no.
don't. I did in the
You
past.
did in the past,
but
yeah.
I don't anymore. We have 3.
You have 3.
And we keep it that way. We have a really nice house, and I like my
Yes.
cleanliness, and I like, so we keep it.
You
that
like your
way.
marriage.
Yes, I like my marriage, and my husband's a big dog lover too.
Yeah,
He's not me.
Yeah.
So we have 3, and occasionally I'll bring one into foster,
Right.
but rarely.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you been trained on the viciousness of animals? I mean, do you know how, or have you been self-taught when you're rescuing the situations? They're not always pleasant situations, are they?
Yeah, no, they're not. As a matter of fact, Eldad Hagar from Hope for Paws, I don't know if y'all see those videos that go
Right.
viral. They're huge. He's a dear friend of mine, and he was bit last month for the first time ever. Luckily, it was a very small dog, and,
Right.
and he's healing up now. But you have to be really careful. I mean, I've gotten to know dogs. I can read language, body language, very well, and so I've never, fortunately, ever come up against a dog that wanted to attack me. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, because it can happen.
Right.
But it's never happened to me. Give me some wood. Hopefully, it never will. So yeah, but I know body language. If a dog has a certain look in its eye and a certain tail stance and a certain stance, then you have to watch watch what you're doing.
Okay.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with actress and award-winning author Sylva Kelegian. And besides Godspell Backwards, you also have a wonderful children's book called The Dolphin Princess,
Yeah, it's
which has beautiful packaging and illustrations. I love this. Talk about how this came about and the inspiration for this.
on my honeymoon 18 years ago or 19 years ago.
Is it that long,
Yeah,
really?
It really is. It's kind of scary. My husband called me the Dolphin Princess because I'm a good swimmer, and I thought, oh, what a wonderful title for a book or a movie. And so I just put it in my back of my mind, and I thought one day I'm going to write a book about that. And the next year I started the book, and I literally finished the book 2 years ago. It took me that long. I mean, I didn't write it consistently, obviously, but I got into a writing class out here. My rescue partner, Lindsay Glass, who has the Forgotten Dog Foundation, is also a writing teacher and a wonderful author. She has a couple books out. And I wrote both of my books in her class, and it just came to fruition. I'm most proud of that book. I'm proud of my memoir too, obviously, because it's my life and my rescue world. But I'm really proud of The Dolphin Princess. It's a very special book, and it's for children and adults. Adults
both,
really
right,
love it.
right.
Yeah. And I'm trying to shop it around to animated film companies right now, because it really should be a film.
And
Really good.
SylvaKelegian.com has all the information for your books, right? And how to
does.
find them and how to buy them.
Everything's on there.
And then also you have some upcoming book signings that you mentioned.
I do, and I'll just mention that 50% of the proceeds this month, every month, the Godspell Backwards, 50% of the proceeds go to rescue groups.
Wow, that's fantastic.
If the books are bought through my website. And the Dolphin Princess we're doing that every month as well. to
Do you
different
screen
groups.
some? I've heard sometimes you have to be careful with some of the rescue groups that the money doesn't go just to.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So how do you do that? How do you make sure that?
Well, we have a foundation, and our money goes only to the dogs.
Okay.
And we're very cautious about where we place our dogs. We do home checks, we do applications, then we do meet and greets, then we do home checks.
Right.
And we match up the dogs with the people. We do 2-week trial to make sure everything sticks. If it doesn't stick, no matter when, 5 years, 10 years, we will take the dog back.
Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we always take the dog back.
So there's never a chance of another rescue situation because the dog will always be in a home. in an
Exactly,
environment.
exactly. For the rest of that dog's life, they're covered. Yeah. A lot of rescue groups don't do home checks, unfortunately. You can't see a hole in a fence in a backyard.
Right.
You just don't
And-
know what's going on there.
And you just see what's happening that day, right?
That's
I mean,
right.
it's sort of like,
Yeah.
who knows, well,
Child Protective Service. You have to show
Well,
up
listen,
unannounced.
we have, this is a day of activism because along with Sylva being an animal rights activist, I believe we have on the line one of the greatest activists for transgendered, Mr. Kylar Broadus. Are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Hi,
I'm
well,
in there.
welcome to the show. This is Jasper Cole. How are you?
Hi, Jasper. Kylar Broadus. How you doing?
I'm great. I just want to remind everyone that November is Trans Awareness Month, and I think November 20th in particular was Transgender Day recognition here in America. So first of all, congrats on all the amazing work that you do on behalf of the transgender community, and especially Kylar is the founder of Trans People of Color Coalition, TPOCC. It's the only civil rights group for trans people of color. So congratulations on that, and welcome. And you know,
Thanks.
it's fascinating because right now, of course, it's been an amazing time for the transgender community. You have, of course, Laverne Cox and Caitlyn Jenner, the high-profile people, but someone like yourself who transitioned in 1994, I wish more attention would be paid on people like yourself who've contributed so much to
For
this
20 years.
for 20 years. And Kylar's an attorney and an author, and so for you, I guess it's an amazing time. And yet, on the other hand, like with any group, one step forward, one step back. There's still so much crime against transgender people, and there's this ridiculous law that was just passed in Houston. So, what is your take on your community right now?
Well, Jasper, first, thanks for having me on. And Trans Day of Remembrance is always November 20th, and it's actually recognized worldwide. And I want to speak to what the status of our community is we're in a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
We are in an epidemic and actually a pandemic in that it spans the globe, and that brown and black bodies, particularly in the trans movement, are being killed. We are treated as non-human. And while we see the visibility rise, Laverne is a personal friend of mine. Caitlyn, I do not know. She's in the dollar category that doesn't reach me, which most transgender people are in a category. I actually am, exceptional in the sense that I am employed. Most trans people are not employed because we're discriminated against in employment and housing
Mm-hmm.
and public. All trans people transition publicly. It's not a thing that's done privately because people see you transition from one person. It's not one person, but they see you physically transition. And there comes a lot of misunderstanding and abuse with that. We've worked for years, and people before me that have come before me have worked for years to educate the public. And we've been doing a hard job of doing that in the last 20 years. I've been honored to work and do lots of work, and I dedicated my life to it, actually, because there just was no choice in my day. It was 99% unemployment. I myself was subject to being terminated for being trans, and I've suffered great abuses and attacks on the street, as all my trans brothers, sisters, and people don't necessarily fit in those categories as they're transitioning and may choose not to for not being able to afford it. It's been excluded by insurance or what have you. We've had people die on the streets because medical professionals won't treat us. Police are abusive towards us. We suffer lots of that. Now, with that being said, we've come a long way, baby. There's always a little humor. Got to use that.
Absolutely.
But exactly. But there's a long way to go, and Laverne will tell you that. When she walks down the street, and I think she's actually been quoted in saying that, is that she still gets yelled at and misgendered
Mm-hmm.
all the time. I happen to be fortunate that I've always looked like a boy, and for the audience that doesn't understand trans people, I'm more of the invisible part of the trans community that people don't see, and that I'm what's called a female to male transsexual, and so I tend to blend in because we transition in the physical sense, not necessarily emotional or the other things, and we blend in a lot easier. But I've always pretty much looked this way, and so I just grew a beard, and nobody knows the difference. But
Right.
I wanted to make sure that people had role models because there was none for me
Mm-hmm.
when
Right.
I came out, and in the middle of Missouri in a rural town. And I thought I was crazy. And particularly, there were no people of color that were visible. There was
Mhm.
Christine Jurgensen. There was Renee Richards,
Mhm.
who I was honored to be in Esquire November's issue of magazine with. And those were the people that I had as role models. And there were definitely no female to male. And we still see that repeated in today's media. That male to female transsexuals get all the media and attention, and then the female to male people are masculine to center, as we like to say, who transition from male or female bodies toward male bodies don't get any attention or invisible. And we actually die. We get murdered too. We also die more in silence in that we have a 40% suicide rate. And to bring it home specifically for the Black community or African American community, which I'm a part of, it's a 50% suicide rate compared to about a 1 point something percent rate for all African Americans. So that's drastically huge because African American people tend to not kill themselves. But in the trans community, you look at a 50% rate compared to 1.6, I believe, percent rate in the overall African American community for suicide.
Well, let me ask you: Do you feel that when Chaz Bono was transitioning, that he brought a lot of good attention to? You're right. You don't see a lot of female to male. It's all been about male to female. But I kind of felt recently in the whole Caitlyn thing. Even Chaz's story was sort of not mentioned a lot anymore. And I.
Yes, you're exactly right, Jasper. I think even with Caitlyn, Chaz was drenched out. That's not a great way to say it, but yeah, he was blinded out, and you don't even hear Chaz mentioned anymore. So for just a moment, there was the story of that, but then there's no more us. And some of the younger guys than myself are coming out, but I was trans when it definitely wasn't cool and it was dangerous to walk down the street. And most people haven't even heard of Brandon Tina in this generation, but he was a young female to male who was killed in Nebraska, which was just down the road from where I was coming out. And so, and he was brutalized and murdered. And that's what happens to all of us is once people find out we're trans, or if we don't fit the mold of what looks like stereotypical female or male, which is funny to me because I tell trans people when they're coming out, go to a mall or go to the airport and just look at people because nobody fits that mold.
Right.
Nobody, whether they're trans or not. And but somehow we get called out, and we're so worried about it that then attention's brought to ourselves more, and then we're attacked, victimized, and then a friend of mine, C.C. McDonald, served time for defending herself. A Black young trans woman walking down the street in Minnesota with her friends headed to the store and was being attacked by drunken people. And then she defends herself, taking the beer bottle from the man she's to be assaulted by, because trans women of color particularly are prey on the streets, and the murder rate is just overwhelming. We began to count with Trans Day of Remembrance, which started in this country by Gwendolyn Smith years ago, and then it became worldwide to bring attention to the fact that we were being murdered, and we've been counting trans women. But the problem is we really don't know because everybody has a different count, and because we need law enforcement to do that count, they have to be trained on identifying us, and they misgender us, they misidentify us. People like me just are counted as women if they don't have the right body parts, and most people can't afford changes of body parts because they can't afford the surgeries that come with it and all the medical care that comes with that. So they may have female body parts that are going to be gendered as female and dead. They're misgendered, or vice versa. The other people like Laverne, if they don't have all the correct body parts, are going to be misgendered as male and dead. So we have police that just don't know and need to be educated as well. And then everybody wants to use the transphobia defense once they get in court. And when it's not true, because many of us are killed by our intimate partners who once that they become known to date us, kill us, because then they are like somebody knows about us, or they just don't want to date us because people know it.
That's similar.
Know that they're dating a trans person.
When you mentioned the Brandon Tina story, that was the Boys Don't Cry, the movie that Hilary Swank did, and that brings me to my question. For a lot of us and for a lot of people, they're first introduced to the trans community in movies or in television shows like the Boys Don't Cry. And it's interesting with the Caitlyn Jenner, I call it the backlash, or it depends on what side you come from. What is your take on, or do you feel the trans community has embraced Caitlyn or hasn't, and that whole controversy, with her story?
I think that it's a mixed bag. I think that Caitlyn has raised visibility on one hand, and she's certainly reached a dollar level of people we would never have reached before. On the other hand, there's always danger when anybody comes out. For 2 years when I came out, I didn't talk to anybody. I did, and I recommend this for anybody coming out. People need to sit in silence with themselves, read a lot, and reflect before they go out and speak, because there's a lot of self-learning that goes with this, and there is no manual.
Right.
So they go out and they make a lot of errors and misspeak, not intentionally, but that just happens.
Right.
Not saying Caitlin has done that, but that's really just part of the process. And so I think that's what happens with people. We saw that with previous people hitting the airways that are newly out. And also I think that it's hard for people to relate, because most of the people that are trans make less than $10,000 a year. They cannot get a job because people will not hire us, and people would look at me when I go around, and I lucked out in getting a job and knew that I had to stay at that job because nobody else was going to hire me.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then after my last parent died, decided to move to the East Coast, and I came in, and made many things work while I was in the Midwest, but nobody else was going to hire me. And most of us are in shadow underground economies. So the thing is, I think that her story doesn't connect people to them that are trans, and so then also the visibility raises backlash in that people around the country are saying, wow, these trans people have all this stuff, which is not true, because she doesn't reflect that. And then there are lots of laws that are being written and that were last legislative session in states that had anti-trans or negative, basically saying you cannot write a non-discrimination law in your local community. States were putting these on the books. And we're going to see that again in this upcoming legislative session. So there was backlash legislatively, and we're going to see it, which is why there's a call and need for explicit federal legislation. We have the EEOC that has come out with good ruling, and it's backed by the Justice Department, and it's backed by the U.S. Department of Education, but we need explicit federal legislation, because the states are reacting and they're saying, oh, wow, all this, the gays, they've gotten their rights, and now these trans people, and we don't understand that. And so there is a backlash to visibility, and we're suffering from it. And sadly, the group of people you're talking about mainly haven't gotten any rights, and most of them are homeless, starving, and without jobs.
Right, exactly, sadly. Well, I guess on the flip side, with Caitlin or with Laverne, on the positive side, any sort of, or do you feel that there is a positive side, like you mentioned, the fact that
there is.
More,
The visibility does bring, as
conversation.
I started out saying, there's
It brings conversation.
Well,
the visibility brings the dialogue, and as I said, Caitlin has taken us to a different dollar level of people that we can start talking, a different income level of people that say, wow, this can happen to anybody, and this can be in my home. And okay, and then there's you're right, the conversation, and so I think then it also mainstreams it. And so you're always you go have the backlash before, it's like the storm before the calm.
Well, and ultimately, like I say, the fact that the country is seeing this, they're having the dialogue, we're moving in the right direction. Now, Kylar, your website is KylarBroadus.com, right?
Right.
People can.
And I just want to be clear, I'm not blaming Caitlin.
Oh, no.
No, we understand. We didn't think you were.
Yeah.
No, you're just laying the facts down.
Absolutely. Well,
yeah.
I want to salute you and congratulate you on all you do for the community, and I was really blown away by all your accomplishments. I wish that we could meet in person, and maybe the next time you're in Los Angeles, you can come live in the studio. That would be fantastic.
There's a lot to talk about.
We will make it happen, and you're wonderful.
Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving, and thanks for joining us. We're going to take our first break. Thank you so much. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to continue with Sylva Kelegian and maybe talk some shallow hot topics.
Yay.
You are watching and listening one-on-one with Jasper Cole. We'll be right back.
Come back, Planet Eartha.
You're back one-on-one with Jasper Cole.
All right, welcome back to this amazing show today.
Yes.
I'm joined by my Hot Topics posse, Ralph Cole Jr. and Dara Zane Scully.
Hello.
Hello, Planet Eartha. Welcome
Happy
back.
Thanksgiving.
And our
I'm
very
thankful for you,
Oh, thank you. I'm thankful for you,
liar.
Dara. And our very special guest, actress, author, and animal rights activist and rescuer, Sylva Kelegian.
Hey,
Hi, sweetheart.
Sylva, welcome back.
Thanks for. Well, we're going to get right, before we get back into the show, we have another sponsor, and we're going to have Mr. Ralph Cole Jr. tell us about it.
Oh, hello. If you think you don't have the money to start your own business, then I have fantastic news. Now you can own a business that has proven to be a phenomenal success all around the country with very little upfront investment. We're talking Selfie Station. I love this company. It is so cool. Selfie Station is a portable touchscreen photo booth that people and businesses book for weddings, corporate functions, trade shows, proms, promotional events, parties, and more. Selfie Station captures lifelong memories that can be emailed, texted, printed, personalized, and even uploaded to social media. You won't believe how much people will pay you to make your business the life of their party. It's the easiest income you'll ever earn and pays for itself in no time at all. You can start your own business right now. Let Selfie Station be the picture taker, icebreaker, and your money maker. Now, as a special introductory offer, get $500 off the professional package.
$500.
That's right.
$500.
$500, Jasper. You be in selfie.com. Type in our show, Jasper Cole, so he can get the credit.
Right.
You be in selfie.com.
Wow,
That's
we are begging.
You be in selfie.com. And our show, Jasper Cole.
Oh, thank
Thank
you, Ralph.
you,
Now,
Ralph.
that is called making a meal out of it.
Wow.
Thank you, really did.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
appetizers
Okay,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you. No,
You should do voiceovers, Ralph.
Sylva, it's funny that you should say that. Okay?
Here we go.
'Cause,
Right.
Yeah,
He-
I
There we
kind of
go.
think that should be happening too. Thank you,
Yes,
Sylva,
yeah.
for that.
Ralph has his
You all
first
heard it
national
here.
commercial running now for farmers.
Farmers Insurance.
And he's
Very
on a
good.
veil for his second national.
Thank you.
We're both
Vespa.
on a veil for a commercial, but
Very
I win
good.
either way because I'm his manager. So
Right.
yeah.
You went over there.
But
Cut
speaking,
to the chase.
And speaking of commercial, we do have a 30-second spot for that. So we'd like to run that 30 seconds
for the what?
for the selfie station,
Oh, okay.
so people can see it in
Yes.
action.
Absolutely.
Oh, great.
Absolutely.
All right, so one moment.
Hey, Christy, what are you doing here?
Making money with Selfie Station.
That awesome portable touchscreen photo booth is your business?
Ah, it's so much fun, and the pictures are such a great memory. Everybody loves Selfie Station. I'm having more fun and making more money than I ever have.
Want to own a fun business that everybody loves? Weddings, trade shows, any social event? You'll be amazed how much people will pay to make your business the life of their event. Right now, Pandora listeners get $500 off the professional package. Just click the banner or go to selfiestation.com/Pandora.
Okay, so Sylva, I want to talk about your upcoming signings. No, we're done with Ralph.
I thought Ralph was going to correct
No. We're done with Ralph.
Once is enough.
Ralph did what he's doing, so I'm surprised he didn't just walk out and drop the mic and leave.
He
so.
drops the mic
I'm
all
your
the
only
time.
champion here, Ralph.
Thank you, Sylva.
But so you have some upcoming
I do.
signings.
I do. I've got a signing on Black Friday in Carmel at
Oh,
Diggity Dog,
it's a
right on the
beautiful
strip
place.
there. It's so beautiful.
Oh, that
up there.
sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Carmel.
Carmel, yes. And then I have Santa Barbara Arts on December 3rd, which is their last Thursday of the month thing, or first Thursday, not last because it's December 3rd. The first Thursday at between 5 and 8, it's a big thing that they do out there, and the press is covering it and blah, blah, blah. And then I have Calabasas Barnes & Noble on December 6th
Wow.
from 12 to 4.
Wow. you
Isn't
really
it
know
great?
your
How is it
schedule.
when you see these people showing up to
It's fun,
I mean,
I did a big one in Sarasota. The paper covered it and all, and so it was a very it was a good event, and it was exciting. All these dog rescue people showed up with their dog rescue shirts on.
It's a whole world, isn't it?
It is a whole world.
It's a movement.
Yeah. Other people too, but but it was really sweet. And the same thing happened. I did a Crown Book signing the other day, and a few dog rescue people showed up too.
And you're on Facebook, right?
I'm on Facebook. I have I just hired this social media guy named JW. That's why I thought when he mentioned JW, I'm like, the same guy.
That would have been
My social
strange.
media guy's gonna walk in. But he just set up another page for me, an entertainer page with all the book stuff.
Oh,
and then I
good.
have the normal
So people can
Facebook
go
page.
there and find out
Yes.
organizations that you would work for and sponsor.
That's
and
all. That's all on my website.
that is on your
actually.
website. Okay, so
SylvaKelegian.com
everything,
has
all that's on your
everything.
website. So
Yes.
people who want to, any organization that Sylva is working with, that they've been vetted and she believes in them, and she's she's the real deal.
She's the real deal.
She's the real deal.
Yeah.
So, well, speaking quickly, because the show's so.
Yes. Yes.
What-
Should we talk
what-
about shallow stuff?
Yes. Now let's get to the shallow
We're
stuff.
talking shallow stuff.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
Not that HIV is shallow.
No, it's not.
But he is.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, he came out saying that he's HIV positive because he was being blackmailed for 4 years, up to the tune of $10 million. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad that we talked about that, where he felt shame with being HIV positive. I mean, there shouldn't be shame in 2015.
Right.
But obviously for him there was.
No, the only shame comes from if you don't tell the people you're sleeping
Right.
with.
And that's what's questionable, whether or not he told everybody that he sleeps with. And it sounds
But,
like he's pretty open about who he sleeps
But
with.
you and I had this discussion. My whole thing about that is, and this is by
I'm
no
allowed
means.
to join in here?
Oh, absolutely. This is a round table.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
please.
my whole thing about this is, and this is no, I mean, I'm not justifying him at all, but I've always felt like we all should just assume everybody's
Yep.
got 50 diseases and protect ourselves.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
again, I mean, I'm not saying he
Absolutely.
didn't have the right to. He should have told people.
And maybe he did. I don't know if some people are suing him, but who knows?
Right.
They got the Gloria Allrag or whatever her name is, and then they go after people. And
Right.
You
who
don't
knows
know.
if it-
That's right.
Yeah, you
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
I mean, he's had such a troubled past anyway. This is like another chapter. But, I want to be, like we talked about with Kylar, I mean, anytime a high-profile person
And
comes
Magic
out,
Johnson reached out to him and
Yeah,
says, hopefully
so
we can work together.
maybe this is a turning point for
Yeah.
Charlie. I mean, I have hope for everybody,
Yeah.
that he can do a lot of good with this.
that'd
Yeah.
be wonderful.
Yeah.
He hasn't been a good father, seemingly in the press and everything,
Right.
with the way he treats his mama babies, his baby mamas.
Right.
It's been really quite
Denise
mean to
Richards has
Denise,
really
and,
been a wonderful.
and she knew all about it and kept it quiet. And
Right.
Yeah.
Denise is also into animal rescue.
She actually, it's funny you mention her because she was at Allison Eastwood's fundraiser a couple weeks ago, and I actually gave her a book because she's a huge animal person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lovely, lovely gal.
Yeah, she
Lovely
seems
gal.
lovely.
And isn't John Stewart and his wife?
He just opened a farm sanctuary.
And
Yeah,
Howard
yeah.
Stern's wife Beth is a huge.
She works with a lot of the
North
New York
Shore.
rescue groups.
North Shore is a big
exactly.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
do a lot of great stuff. What else, Dara?
Well, Orange County Housewives.
Yes.
I love my
I know,
Orange
Sylva,
County.
you watch all the Housewives, right?
And this is really the truth. I've never seen any of those.
Okay, so
shows,
she's never
ever.
taken
don't
a
start.
selfie,
Never.
and she's never seen a housewife show.
That's why she's.
I
So
have watched
we're
The Bachelor.
Totally shallow.
I've
Now that
watched-
I've never seen.
It's really good.
Okay.
You can get addicted to it.
yeah,
that
that
used to
one-
be a secret. My husband's the only one that knew, but there it is. It's out now.
Yes, we're going to broadcast.
Do you
to the
remember my
whole
mom
world.
used to watch The Bachelor? My mom on my other show, Martha, would call in periodically and give us the updates on The
Yes,
Bachelorette
yes.
because she watched the Martha. God bless her soul.
Yes.
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 But anyway, so,
So the Orange County Housewives, it was a big drama this season because Vicki Gunvalson, who's been there since day one, who lives in Costa de Casa, where it all started.
Coda. That sounds familiar.
It all started with the Housewives with Orange County in Costa de Casa because there's a guy in Costa de Casa, Scott Dunlap, who sort of saw all these women living their life and thought this would be great to film. And he was right. Now it's a little out of control, too many cities.
He's the executive producer
He's the
on
executive
all of them with
producer.
Andy Cohen
and I've
now,
heard him and seen him in public, and I've heard him say, sorry, I apologize.
as he cashes the check.
Yes, he cashes the checks.
Yeah, I apologize,
But last season was all about does Brooks, Vicki Gunvalson's boyfriend at the time, have cancer or not have cancer? And they made a whole season out of it. It was kind of ridiculous. It was really ridiculous.
Did he have cancer?
Apparently not.
I don't.
He
I don't know.
Staged the whole thing.
I don't know if he had it or if then she wanted him to talk about it. So nobody liked him. So she was trying to garner affection for him. It's just was crazy.
Based on the interview last night with Andy Cohen, she's a liar and she lied about the whole thing.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm done over her. Vicky, go
well,
back.
City of Hope
Go back to
said
your
he was
damn
never a patient, which I thought was
insurance
interesting because what about the HIPAA laws? I didn't know that you could just do that.
Well, here's the thing. Let me say. She claimed that she went into the lobby with him. I've had several friends with cancer.
I know.
You can actually
no,
go.
it's a really terrible thing
You
to
can
lie
go
about.
sit with someone as they're having their chemo.
Yes.
So she's
yes.
she's so full of shit.
Okay, I like Vicky.
Hey Vicky, you're welcome on the show anytime though.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Vicky's. She's the original one.
She's the OG of the
I think
OC.
she's a lot of fun, and I personally think she got duped. I think that she.
Oh, Dara, I love
do.
you.
I know.
You are so sweet.
I can be at times.
Innocent. Bless your heart.
Okay.
Okay.
American Music Awards. I don't know why I watch them. It's like.
Well, it's your job. You have to report on it.
It is my job. Well, of course, J-Lo. I mean, she's.
If I were going to be a woman, I'd want to be J-Lo.
If I was going to be a lesbian, she would be.
Yeah.
She's
She's
just,
46 or 47?
43 or 45. She's just gorgeous.
She looks
ridiculous.
She
amazing.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
And she has a new TV show and a movie.
She's in everything.
But I can barely get out of
Vegas.
bed and
I
come
want
here.
to go see her in Vegas. I totally want to see her.
Yeah,
in
she's the
Vegas.
perfect person to
really
have a
is.
residency
Yes.
in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
no,
gonna
she
do a
puts on a
Vegas
good
show?
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
She even sang pretty well at the opening of the show
She
the other
did.
night.
I noticed that she was doing a little more vocal, carrying the note
Right.
and everything.
thought,
I
go
did
on,
notice that.
Jenny
She
from the
needs
block.
to be if she's judging on American Idol. I mean, come on.
Right.
Yeah, and she's
yes.
going to carry a Vegas
yeah, that was
show.
the best thing
Yeah.
that happened for her career because you saw another side to her, softer side.
I'm
Very
really sad
likable.
that American Idol's in. You know, I've watched American Idol from season 1. I'm one of the diehards from the beginning.
Oh wow, okay.
Do you know it's interesting? As much as people love The Voice, not one of those voice winners have really become stars.
Interesting.
But even third, they don't have the machine behind it.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
but
There's
even
so
third
much
and
talent on that voice
It's
show.
amazing.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
I get
Yes.
sucked into the personal stories, you know, on there
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Dancing with the Stars, which I never watched, but I happened to get a clip last night, and I saw Bindi Irwin doing a dance, and that was really, I mean, unless she's a fake crier, that girl and her mother and her son, oh my God, just like they're just out there with their emotions.
But
It
don't
was
you
so
think that
wonderful.
Americans are going to vote for Alec, the
Well, I'm
the
not. I don't
hero?
even know anybody else. All
well,
I saw
the
was her.
other guy, the guy that thwart.
Pardon? Okay.
You don't think the soldier guy has a chance? It's down to 3. Alec is one of them. Yeah, you know the guy who thwarted
Alec?
in Paris
Oh,
a couple months ago. Those 3
the
guys
Paris
that
train guy.
Oh,
thwarted.
he's on Dancing
Yes.
with the
Oh,
Stars?
and in the finals, he's in the finals.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought maybe Americans would vote for him, but
I don't know. She kind of pulled him in
Car-
with her.
they drug
with
Nick
her
Carter
tears.
out, didn't they?
They
Brought
yeah
him
they
back
did
for this.
And then Adele. How much do we love Adele?
Yes.
First of all, I love that name. That was
Hello.
Murray's
Hello.
mother's name, Adele. But you know, she just comes out with her album, and she doesn't have
Slays
to take.
everybody.
She slays everybody. She doesn't have to take her clothes off. she
Over
doesn't
2
have
million
to
copies
act
sold.
like a
But I hope
hooker.
she
3
can
days.
get some upbeat music because it's very depressing. I
Oh,
mean, it's
her-
great,
Her
but
voice is
after
so
a while,
beautiful. She is our Barbara Streisand,
Right.
for sure, for sure.
yeah.
And I think that's about it on the hot. We
Okay.
want to say a
Oh.
guest of the show, Nathaniel Oliver Gray, passed away. What did we Wednesday? What did we Tuesday? On Sunday. Suddenly, he was a guest of the show
3
2 or
times.
3
Yeah.
times. We're very upset. We're wishing his family peace, and there's just no words. I mean, he was 47. And
Very talented writer and
just
blogger.
really,
and
just a sweetheart. Asked for my address. He would send me birthday cards and holiday. I mean,
he's
you know,
very
who does
supportive.
that?
and,
Just
and
a
Ralph
sweetheart.
is Ralph. We were introduced to him by Ralph, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I met him through Chad Darnell,
Right,
who was a guest on
our
this
show. It's all interrelated,
Yeah.
but
What
we're-
happened to him?
We
he
don't-
passed away,
we
and
don't
we don't know
know.
why or how or anything. They think maybe he had a medical condition that he didn't know about, and he passed away in his sleep. I just hope he wasn't in pain.
yes.
And so
Much
we wanna,
love to his family
yeah,
at this horrible holiday
It's just
time.
a really,
Yeah.
really horrible news. And then
Prayers go out to everyone in Paris.
yes,
Because I haven't seen you guys
we have
since
not
then.
seen each other
Yeah,
since then.
So that
yeah,
was a
that
horrible
was just
thing.
devastating.
But a wonderful press conference with Obama and the president of France
yeah, and
today.
I told you that in the concert hall where they were seeing the band, there were so many casualties because a lot of those kids didn't want to leave their friends,
wow.
which
They-
is just
They
amazing.
took bullets for them.
They took bullets.
And also then we have to shout out to the people in West Africa. It's
Right.
awful.
It's just
Yes.
this ISIS
Every-
thing is
yeah.
it's amazing this primitive group of 25,000 people have just been able to galvanize and take over like they have. But
Yes.
well, listen, everyone.
Wishing everybody
I wish we had
happy
3 hours.
Thanksgiving.
It goes by. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Sylva,
Happy Thanksgiving.
so great
Sylva,
to see
thank
you.
you.
Come
Happy
back
Thanksgiving.
anytime.
Thanks for having me. It
Congratulations.
was a lot
Say
of
hi
fun.
to
Good
Jude.
luck on
You're
the
all
book
great.
tour.
Thank you very
Kiss
much.
the babies. Kiss all the furry animals at home.
Yeah.
JW, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Dominic
Happy,
Friesen,
happy.
shout out to you.
Yes.
Ralph, hi
Thank
to you and
Jasper.
Michael.
Okay, thank you, Jasper.
And we'll see you guys back at the end of December.
December 27th.
Yes, and
Yep.
we will be back next Wednesday, same time, 5 to 6 as
Yep.
usual. Thanks, everyone. You've been
Thank
listening
you.
to One-on-One with Jasper Cole.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Bye-bye.
Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye, Planet Earth.
Thanksgiving. Very nice.
Thanks for checking out One-on-One with Jasper Cole. Check out past episodes and get the latest as they're released. Subscribe today on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.